Okay, welcome to our team project demo. We are going to be demoing a game we made together. The game is called Llama Adventures. So without further ado, on my screen. So we created our game in Unity. I'll just I'll play through the game so you can see it. Go. So as you can see, we took a few classic games and made them our own. We have asteroids, and then now we finish the game. So we can add our name. So let's say we're a new player. And when we reload this page, let's reload that, just that one scene. If we reload the scene, you'll be able to see our name as well if you want to, that list of people who have played this game. So now we're gonna walk you through some of our code. Let me show you 1 second. Okay. And Taylor, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. All right. So, okay. So I was in charge of doing the code for the asteroid-like game. So basically, like we got our player. So we got we got the logic to fire the bullets and to allow the player to move and turn and to well yeah, and we have it to where it'll get destroyed by an asteroid, and then it'll basically reset and it'll turn off collision for a few seconds, and then after that, the few seconds are up, it'll come back up and it'll bring the player back. And then we've got our asteroid script for that, as well as the bullet that the player shoots, which evades me at the moment. So right there. And then, yeah, basically for this whole process, my role in our group was to be documentation manager. And basically what I did was I helped to provide comments for specific aspects of the code. which I think that I think we all did a great job with this project, and I think we all did a good job with our respective roles as well. And yeah, I think that's what I have to say for this. Who's next?
I'll go next. So I made the Space Invaders like game, and I'll show you. I'll walk you through the script for your player avatar. So if you want to click on that for me, whoever's controlling the screen. Okay, thanks. We go up to-
You can. I was gonna say you can request control.
uh, that's all right. Do you mind, Kaylee?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, cool. So this is the script for the player. On the update function, which is called every second, I've got the code that lets you move your player back and forth and that lets you fire a missile. Go down more. And then this is pretty interesting, I think. So this function shoot, which happens when you shoot a missile. In Space Invaders, you are only allowed to fire one missile at a time. So you can't shoot another one until yours makes contact. And the missile is a totally separate object, separate class from the player. So how does the player know when the missile is gone? Well, we use what's called a system action. I thought this was super fascinating. So in the projectile class, which the missile prefab in the game uses, in that class, then whenever the projectile makes contact, it will trigger a system action. And here, this shoot function it has a listener on that's always listening for that system action. And you can see here on line 50, it's added a function that's defined here in this class to that system action. So whenever it hears that system action that it's listening for, it does the missile destroyed function. And that function just sets the stage so that it's allowed to fire again. I think that whole system action thing that you can do in Unity and C++ is super fascinating, and there's a lot of it's very, very powerful, cool thing you can use. Anyway, and then the last function I have here is just if the player is hit, it triggers a restart to the level. So aside from making this game, I was also the quality assurance guy. So everybody wrote their own code, but I looked over everybody's code, and I was kind of in charge of making sure it all merged together and resolving merge conflicts and stuff in the main repository. Also, we all did different aspects of the graphics. We assigned that to everybody, but my contribution to that was the contribution I'm most proud of was the explosions on the Space Invaders level, where when a Space Invader is hit by your missile, they explode. So, yeah. I think that's all I've got.
So I thank you, Spencer and Kayla. I worked on the Donkey Kong-esque game. So oh, let me pull that up. I'm gonna walk through my player logic as well. So what's really interesting is that in games, a lot of the time when we play games, we don't realize how much complexity goes into them. And so um, we um, we have a lot of logic that goes into this, such as you need to know when the player is on the ground. So we have this grounded Boolean when they're climbing a ladder. So we have this climbing, we have move speed, jump strength. There's a lot that goes into this, and including a list of sprites that change as we run back and forth across the screen. So when there's a lot going on here, but basically, we need to know that if we're on the ground, well, the important thing about this is because if you try and jump, we need to know that you're on the ground when you're jumping. Otherwise, you're just going to be able to jump infinite amount of times. And so what this grounded variable does, this grounded Boolean value, it allows us to make sure we can only jump once. And then this ladder, like the climbing variable, does something similar. It allows us to change our sprite so that we're in the climbing position and we can climb the ladder. We also have some logic for if we're climbing, then then it just changes how things work with our jumping as well as grounded. And so we just have a lot of complexity that goes into these movements that seem so simple but are actually quite complex. In addition to these, there's also a game manager that these connect to. So if we hit an obstacle, like the obstacles that the bad guy is throwing, then we will end up restarting the level. And then if we get to the castle, then we'll complete the level and move on to the next one. In addition, I worked as the project manager for this team, and so we kept track of I helped keep track of responsibilities in our tasks that we were going to do, and we used the task manager Trello. We had a Trello board that we updated to be able to coordinate tasks and make sure we were on the same page as well. We communicated frequently via texting, just to make sure we were all up to date and making progress and receiving help with any problems that we had, even making phone calls when necessary. As well, I was the configuration manager, so I worked to help everyone get trained on using GitHub so that we could all merge our work together and use GitHub um, as our uh, means to connect our work. And so this is our project. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you've had fun watching this video and seeing all that we were able to accomplish. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.
Right.